So Harvard Business Review just published a piece called If Trust is So Important, Why Aren't We Measuring It? And I'm reading it thinking, finally, someone's saying the thing that needs to be said. The author, John Blakey, cites research showing leaders rate themselves as significantly more trustworthy than their teams rate them by as much as 29 points. Heck, we frequently quote the PwC statistic, 86% of executives think trust is high, only 67% of employees agree. 18 points of blind spot. So yes, trust needs to be measured. That debate is over. But as I read this piece, a question just kept surfacing that he never quite asked. What exactly are we measuring? In most trust measurement tools, including the ones that Blakey mentions, they're measuring one of two things. Either they're measuring the leader. Do they keep commitments? Are they honest? It's basically a 360 review focused on trust behaviors. Or they're measuring the organization. Do employees trust management? Is this a great place to work? It's a climate survey. Both of these matter. I'm not dismissing them, but there's a third thing that almost nobody's measuring. The actual dynamics between the people who sit in a weekly meeting together, who decide moment by moment whether they're going to speak up or stay safe. Because that's where trust actually lives. Now, it's not that these other tools won't detect a trust problem. They will. If trust is broken, it'll show up in the scores. The issue is specificity. Imagine going to a doctor and saying, something's wrong. And the doctor runs some tests, comes back and says, you're right. You need to get healthier. That's what most trust assessments give you. They confirm that there's a problem. They don't tell you why. Why are people hoarding information? Why does one person's frustration spread through the whole team? Why do promises keep getting broken? Each of these is a completely different trust problem, and they each require completely different interventions. If all you know is that trust is low, essentially what you're hearing is get healthier, and then you're left to guess at your own treatment plan. In our work, we found that trust erosion almost always follows one of four patterns. We call them the 4 C's: contaminate, control, conceal. And then last is the pattern that results when the other 3 go unaddressed: collapse. Most measurement tools don't surface them. The other thing that struck me about the HBR piece, and this is subtle, but it matters so much, is that there's no discussion of what measurement feels like. Blakey talks about exposing blind spots, which is good because you cannot change what you cannot see. But here's the paradox. If trust is already fragile, and then you ask people to rate trust, what does that feel like? If I'm on a team where I don't feel safe, and suddenly I'm being surveyed, and I know the results are going to go somewhere, that's not a survey. It's a test. And if I've learned that honesty isn't safe here, I'm going to give you the answers that protect me, which means the question isn't just, are we measuring trust? It should be, are we measuring it in a way that's safe enough to reveal people's truths? So look, I'm not here to criticize John Blakey or the tools that he's recommending. They serve a purpose. But if you're a leader who senses that something's off with your team and you want to actually understand what's happening, here's what I would ask if I were in your shoes. 1, is this tool measuring the team, not just the leader or the organization? 2, does the measurement process feel safe enough to get honest answers? 3, will I learn why trust is eroding, not just that it's eroding? And 4, will I see how different people are experiencing the same environment differently? These questions aren't hypothetical for me. They're exactly what led me to build the Team 360 Trust Assessment. In 10 minutes per person, Team 360 Trust measures 9 specific trust polarities, not vague categories. It surfaces every team member's perception gaps, which is what makes the assessment psychologically safe to take. I'm not saying that Team 360 Trust is the only way, but if what I've described resonates, if you felt that gap between knowing something's off and knowing what to do about it, might be worth a look. You can't manage what you can't see. Blakey's right about that. But what you see depends entirely on where you look.